What is the best supersonic action figure? Is it a figure that Jazzwares made, such as the Superposer Sonic, the 3 3/4 inch Supersonic, or the 5-inch Supersonic? Or is it the video game or Sonic Movie 2 Supersonic made by Jakks Pacific? I'm here to say that none of those figures are the best supersonic figure, and you might be wondering, if those aren't, then what possibly could? Well, I'm here to inform you that the brand new Supersonic from the Sonic 3 movie toy line is the best supersonic figure ever made.
Now I'll show you!
Oh no!
That's right, they made a supersonic for this third movie toy line. And for those of you who aren't familiar with this toy line, let me just say it's peak. For $15, you get an insane sculpt and articulation on these figures.
What do I look like, an imbecile?
The first wave consisted of Sonic, Shadow, Tails, and Robotnik, which has been out for a few months now. And then wave 2 was recently announced, which consisted of Supersonic, Angry Shadow, Knuckles, and whatever the heck this is. But the real star of this wave is obviously the Supersonic. I mean, Knuckles is cool too, but I already have him from the light up 4-pack, so Supersonic was the only one I was feeding for from this wave. And then I went to Target and they had him. I literally about crapped myself when I saw him. Oh, and they had Knuckles, but we are here for Supersonic, so with all that being said, let's get this review started.
Sonic! I'm sorry. Really, look, go easy on me. I'll turn over a new leaf, I swear. Just give me a chance.
Well, this is new. Showing remorse, Eggman? If you played nice, I wouldn't have to break all your toys.
Gotcha. What?
Supersonic comes in the same packaging that all the other Sonic toys have came in. We can see the figure fully inside and the name of the figure on the front. The back of the box shows off the figure fully and gives a quick description of what it's based off of. But is it low-key spoiling though? It says Supersonic's power is unmatched, or is it? Shadow must give Sonic that work or something else. Super Shadow. Then at the bottom it shows the rest of the figures in this wave, and here's the barcode for those of you who want to hunt for this guy. The packaging is overall pretty cool. What's even cooler is the figure inside. As soon as I ripped this bad boy open, I was instantly impressed. Jakks Pacific made hands down the best supersonic action figure. To begin with, he looks really good. They did a really good job capturing his likeness well in this form, though I think I would have preferred a more serious look instead of the smile, but that's just a me thing. While I'm talking about his face, the eyes on this one do the same thing that the Shadows did, where the eyes get cut off a little, so it looks a little weird. It's nowhere near as bad as Shadows though, but it is noticeable. The eyes having the realistic look to it really doesn't bother me. I think it looks fine, and they don't track you down like how the Mario movie toys did. But I would like to see them do more releases with the normal eyes, like how the Bike Shadow was, because I think the likeness with the normal eyes looks much better than the realistic ones. And with Supersonic, the eyes don't look as bad as the others in my opinion. Then this figure has some crazy detailing. He is fur sculpted all throughout his body, as his body is colored in the shiny yellowish goldish plastic that has little shiny speckles on it to help give the illusion that he's radiating energy, which is really freaking sick. I really do like the coloring on this figure, because they could have just made bro straight yellow, but instead they made his coloring more accurate to the movie. Then his stomach area is painted pretty clean and doesn't have paint smudging like the normal Sonic does. Then the shoes he is wearing have a lot of detail to them. His socks have all of its wrinkles and folds, the shoes have texturing all on them, and the back of the shoes have the little hoop to help Sonic put the shoes on. And the bottom of the shoes even have some nice sculpt work going on. And thankfully, the shoes on my copy are painted pretty clean. Overall, the look for Supersonic is great. Now, some of you might be wondering how he feels. He feels the same as a regular Sonic, so his joints move pretty smooth. Thankfully, I didn't have to give him a hot water bath like Shadow, so since he looks good and feels good, are his accessories good? No, because he doesn't come with any. Yeah, he comes with nothing, but I am not complaining at all, as it's totally understandable with this release, since the sculpt work and articulation it has make up for it, since the price of the fig is $15. But I'm still going to show you some poses I did with some random accessories I have lying around. Like this ring from the Sonic Ninjaroid looks really great with him. And then energy effects I have from other figures look really badass with him. Now I can have him powering up, flying really fast, or doing a ki blast. So pretty much, if you want this guy to have any accessory, you're going to have to use what you got. So let's now take a dive into what makes this figure really special. Supersonic has the best articulation in this line, and if you are thinking, but they all have the same articulation design, how is it better? Well, let me tell you that you're right, but this Supersonic has the best head range out of all the movie figures, which makes him the best. Like, he can actually look up, he can look down, and his head can tilt well all around. Like, look at this movement. The regular Sonic definitely ain't competing with this, and Shadow's head range ain't even as good as this. Obviously, the better head range is because his quills aren't in the way, but hey, better is better. Sonic's arms can go really far upwards, he has a bicep swivel and elbows that bend past 9 degrees. The hand articulation is something I really love about this figure. The wrist is on a hinge so it can move forwards, backwards, and the peg insert allows the wrist to rotate. And the icing on the cake with the hands is the finger articulation, or knuckle articulation, whatever you want to call it. This figure has finger articulation like how the old school toys used to do, which is really sick. The Sonic Superposer tried to do this, and well, it was bad. Thankfully, this one works pretty well, though it can look pretty goofy if you open the fingers all the way up. Super Sonic then has a butterfly joint which works amazingly. His arms can cross over one another, and then they can go this far backwards, which can help put Sonic in those powering up poses. He then has a cut at the waist, which can tilt all the way around and allows for a little bit of upper body tilt. You aren't going to get a crazy amount of crunch with it, but it is still pretty cool getting this kind of articulation on a Sonic figure. His legs get a good amount of range as they can go this far forwards, this far backwards, and then this far outwards. He has a what? Is that a thigh swivel? Surely a $15 figure can't have a thigh swivel because a certain $35 figure doesn't. Oh wait, it does. Super Sonic has a thigh swivel that works well. It is cut into a sculpt, but his legs from top to bottom are the same shape, so it doesn't look weird when you rotate it. His knees bend past 90 degrees, and he has pretty good ankle articulation. His ankles can flex upwards and downwards some, and the ankle rocker on his figure is really good. Overall, this figure takes the cake for the best articulation on a Sonic figure, as he is loaded with great articulation engineering. So now, let's do some figure comparisons. First, here is Super Sonic next to regular Sonic. Side by side, Super Sonic's head and face area seems smaller than regulars. It kind of throws me off because the regular Sonic looks bigger than the Super version because of it. They still look pretty good next to each other despite that though. Next, here is Super Sonic next to Shadow. Hopefully we can get a Super Shadow in the third wave. Here is Super Sonic next to Knuckles and Tails. Here is Super Sonic next to Robotnik. Here is Super Sonic next to Movie Mario. Here is Super Sonic next to the Jazzwares 5-inch Super Sonic. Here is Super Sonic next to the Jazzwares 3-inch Sonic. Here is Super Sonic next to Nindroid Sonic. Here is Super Sonic next to Little Shadow. Here is Super Sonic next to Super Saiyan Goku. And lastly, here is Super Sonic next to Storm Collectibles' usual hum. My final thoughts about this figure is that this is the best Super Sonic figure we have ever gotten. From the beautiful sculpt work and good likeness to the insane amount of articulation this figure has is amazing. And for the price point of $15, how can you beat that? Also, with the price, the articulation can stand its ground with import figures. With the third Sonic movie coming out, I am so happy I was able to get this guy. The second wave that this figure is from is popping up at Targets, so run to your Targets now if you want him. Here's the barcode once again, and happy hunting.
Now I'll show you!